Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a back-end Java developer, and this resume is bad. This resume is very bad. I know this because they told me the ratio, which for everybody out there, if you want to know if your resume is good or garbage, you need to know the ratio. The ratio is a simple rule of thumb to tell you if your resume is good or bad. So the ratio is, at its core, just how many applications you have sent to get a single interview. If you are getting one interview per 50 applications, your resume is okay. It actually passes. That does work. Anything lower than 50 applications to one interview, phenomenal. Anything higher than 50 to one applications to interview, awful. And when people use my methods, they get a 1 in 7 ratio on average. But this person, I know it's garbage because they have over 150 applications to get a single interview. So something is critically wrong with this resume. So I do more than tech, but right now the tech market is in the dumpster and we are in a recession. So like 90% of the resumes sent to me are tech. So what do we need for a backend Java developer? We need Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful API or REST APIs, microservices, CI/CD, object-oriented programming, Git, Linux, Unix, Agile, Scrum, Cloud, any of them, architecting or systems work, Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, Kafka, and rare but nice to have is the stuff from the following list. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need, and I'm expecting not to find any of this. And remember, we are not keyword hunting, we are qualification hunting, which I will go over in a minute. But let's see what I can and cannot find. And go. This doesn't count. This means nothing. All right. Refactored a legacy payment into modular. Okay, doesn't matter. Integrated Apache Kafka. Okay. This doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Gentic, maybe. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. SAS and time. Yeah, so this resume has two problems. One, they have keywords but not qualifications. And two, they have too many hot dogs and not enough hamburgers. So what recruiters are looking for is not keywords. But what is a keyword? A keyword is one of these things, right? It's what the hiring team needs. They need somebody who knows Java. They need somebody that knows Spring Boot. That's a keyword. The problem is a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, which this person did kind of say, plus where you used it, which this person did not say at all, plus the non-technical reasons they used it, which they also did not say at all. And if you do not show me the what, the how, the why, the where, it does not count as a qualification, not counting education and years of experience. So when people have these giant the summary is not that big. When they have these summaries, guess what? Doesn't matter. Nothing on here can be used because it does not show me where you used it. And then look, technical skills. This has everything I would have wanted, except remember, not keyword hunting, qualification hunting, and this does not show me how you used it, where you used it, or the non-technical reasons you used it. So this resume might as well be blank because the only thing I found was Apache Kafka, and I really only need Kafka, not the Apache part, and maybe Agentic as a bonus because, again, AI is a bonus qualification. But you did not tell me that you can use Java. In fact, nothing here shows me you can use Java. You have a bunch of hot dogs that tell me you could use Java, but I need hamburgers. And to explain what I mean by that is I want you to imagine that you're hungry. You go to a restaurant and you just say, I want a cheeseburger, and that's it. They say, just a cheeseburger? You say, just a cheeseburger. So they go back to the kitchen, they come back, and they bring you a plate that is filled with hot dogs, and they say, here is your cheeseburger with cheese. And you say, excuse me, what? This is a plate of hot dogs with cheese on them. I wanted a hamburger with cheese, not hot dogs. And they say, well, a hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns like a hamburger. And a hot dog can have cheese like a hamburger. So when you said cheeseburger, what you actually meant were these hot dogs. You would walk away without paying because that is not what you were looking for. And that is the exact problem with this resume is refactored. Yeah, refactored. I always want to say refractored, but that's not right. Refactored legacy payment processors into modular components to reduce technical debt. Cool. Does it tell me one of these? No. Does it tell me how you used one of those? No. Does it tell me the non-technical reasons? No. It implies it, but it doesn't show it. So this entire thing in red is not good. And then integrated Kafka. Okay, good. Kafka is something at least I'm looking for, but topics, partitions, and Arvo schemas to enable event-driven blah, 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 blah. This has nothing I need. This is filled with hot dogs. And again, you need to tell me the non-technical reason you did it. And there is always a non-technical reason you do it. No engineer is working on a product that has a only technical application. I know that sounds insane, but there is always a way for you to describe it, the point of it. Like if you're working on the back end and you're making it good for other engineers, you could say I'm just going to throw random stuff here. It's not going to be accurate, but Java, Spring Boot, SDLC, and AWS to create a back end so our other engineers could fully build out our agentic product. That line alone gets you tons of interviews. So this stuff, which is automated acquirer, workflows, and standardized financial processing across multi-tenant, nothing. Wrote comprehensive about but nothing. Automated scaffolding means nothing. Built a SaaS, they might like that. On a testing platform, cool. You know what you don't tell me? You don't tell me how, and you don't tell me why. So this doesn't count. Doesn't count. Use Docker, Kubernetes, and on AWS and GitLab CI/CD to deliver reliable, repeated releases. Man, would that count? That might count, but again, it's still described poorly. I'd rather you to say so our product could be delivered on time every time. Something like that. But right now, that's still a little too technical. And then at the bottom, you have your education. Your education should be at the top. But also, so your formatting that you should use. And this person's formatting is not the worst. It could be better, right? There's a little too much bolding. And the education is at the bottom rather than the top. But most of the problems is not the formatting. Also the giant summary and skills section. But this is the format you want to use. It's in the description below. It's in the link. This is how you do it. This is the ideal format for almost every single resume because it's easy to read. And that's the entire point of it. Is it boring looking? Yes. Is it drab and ugly? Yeah. But that is a feature. That is not a bug. So this is why this Java developer has a garbage resume. And again, it's not just me. Everybody is rejecting this person. So I'm going to need you to make these changes of actually putting this stuff in your bullet points, describing what, how, non-technical, why, and where. Just being under a job shows where, right? That's what the where is. So that's all I can do for this resume that is filled with hot dogs and is garbage. But before we go to the next one, I just want to say thank you for watching. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. I really, really appreciate your support. And if anybody else wants to be able to support me as well, they can join in the link below. You get access to videos a little bit early. But again, to my members, thank you very much. And if anybody else ever needs help with their resume, stop on by my live stream. That's where I review these every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. And yeah, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software developer, which you can tell is a little bit different than a Java developer with full stack. So this is Max Mustermann, which is the Germany equivalent of John Doe. So this is John Doe in Germany, and my advice does work in Germany. I've gotten people jobs in Germany. I've gotten people jobs like almost everywhere in the world except for the Netherlands. That is the one place in the entire globe I've struggled to get people a job. I've gotten people jobs in Africa, in India, in the UK, in the EU, in Canada, in the US, in Mexico, but the Netherlands, why? What are you doing differently? So this will work for Germany, but I will say it'll probably only be about like 90% as effective instead of 100%. Some of these may be different. Uh, but and that because I just can't be in every industry, but it should be close enough to get you a role. So this gets a pretty bad ratio in Germany because it's a 75-1, which, considering the lack of jobs in Germany, that's probably closer to a US 1 in 100 to a US 1 in 150. So I'm expecting one or two things that I find, but the rest bad. So what do we need for a full stack? Well, we need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Do you not have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS? You are in for a bad time. But Lee, TypeScript implies does not matter what it implies. It matters what is shown explicitly on your resume. So TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. RESTful APIs or REST APIs, SQL, any, cloud, any, backend, so Python, C#.NET, or Java. And one of the differences in the EU market compared to the US is in the US, they prefer Python more. In the EU, I believe they prefer Java more. So this person also said they know a lot of Java, which is good. DevOps, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and extra credit for large-scale AI tools and cross-functional. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Formatting is bad, but not the worst. Led the refactoring. Why is everybody caring about refactoring? Cross-functional designs. Implemented customer-facing features using Java, JavaScript, and C++. Implementing RESTful front-end logic. Okay, but you didn't tell me why you did this. Creating unit tests using Mockito. Okay, so this reads to me like an Android dev. This actually may not be full stack. This might be Android. Because as a full stack, it doesn't have anything. But for Android... no, I'm looking at it. I still don't see enough. There's not enough. The MVVM and the MVC is, no, wait, no. I'm thinking of MVVM, not MVC. Never mind. Yeah. So this resume doesn't really work. Mainly because the very first bullet point, I just don't have enough, right? And it's hard to read. Like, this is why you want my format, because it's boring. And boring is easy to read, which is what you want. But, like, do we really care that you led the comprehensive refactoring of a legacy UI architecture from code-driven to component-based MVC cross-functionally modernized patterns of UX to achieve UI guideline compliance? And the answer is probably not. This doesn't really have anything I'd really be looking for. I will say this is an appropriate why. To achieve UI guideline compliance, right? Achieving a compliance is an understandable non-technical reason. But you don't have the what here. Like, none of this is what I'm really going to be looking for. And then we have this, which is good. Java, JavaScript, C++, implementing RESTful APIs is good, but this doesn't matter, right? Again, we need the non-technical reason. And then I didn't even get to this part. This really is, like, I swear I've seen something with this. What has Mojito? I swear I've seen something with Mojito before. Or Mojito? No. What about JUnit? No, I don't. Yeah, this stuff is just filled with hot dogs. Hot dogs. Docker can be used potentially, but the rest of this is not something I need. This doesn't matter. I don't care about clean code. This could matter because of Agiles, but again, I want Agile, but more there's only one here. So this is not the worst sentence. The problem is when you're building your bullet points, each sentence needs 3 keywords minimum, and this only has 1, which is Agile. And if you notice, I got all the way down here, and the only things that I've seen are Java, JavaScript, because C++ counts as Java for this, because it's another language, a RESTful API, and Agile. And that's it. That's 4 things. You have 4 things I want in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullet points. You should have 4 things I want in the very first bullet point alone. You just don't need this much garbage because it's not what we're looking for. Develop RESTful APIs using Python, Django. Okay, good. And integrate a fresh component using Angular. Why did you do this? I don't know. Modeled blah, blah, blah. Node.js I actually want, but you didn't tell me why. So this is part of the reason you're not getting interviews. In fact, this is the most reason is it's not just the format, which again, you should use this format. It's you're not telling me you're qualified. You need to show me 75% of these to move forward. Candidates think you need 100%. You don't. You need 75%. But I only see like 20%. You know what I don't see? TypeScript, HTML, CSS. I don't see any SQL. I don't see any cloud. I don't see React, React.js, Angular, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, or Git. And I need most of those. But I really, 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 really need the TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. So, and wait, did you even get a degree? You did. This should be up at the top. But again, nothing here matters about your degree. Nothing here matters about your degree. Those go in projects. The only thing that matters about your degree is the degree itself. Although you should put when you graduated, because this was pretty early. I shouldn't have marked that off. No, actually, that was 3 years ago. You can even put status graduated. You don't even need to tell me when you graduated, just that you did. So this is my problem with this resume, is it just doesn't have what I need. It's filled to the brim with hot dogs. In fact, I would even say, using the same metaphor, it's almost filled to the brim with just bread. There's really no meat in it at all. It's just entirely bread. So, next, resume. This is a resume of an FPGA prototype design engineer. So this is not for every FPGA prototype design engineer. This is a specific job posting this person wanted to know if they met. Now, I will say this is typically a bad idea to do because a lot of people think the ATS is what's going to reject your resume, and that's not how it works. I made a short about that, but the faster you apply to a job, the better your chances. And if you're applying to a job that already has 100 people that apply to it, you're probably not going to get seen because recruiters view resumes in the order they are sent to us, or reverse order. So first come, first serve. So if you are applying to a job that has been open for 5 days and has 100 plus people, you're probably not going to get seen. If you're applying to a job that's been open for 3 weeks, but it only has 20 people that applied, you will be seen. So, but also, again, some roles are open for hours and they're already filled up. So you need to be within the first 100. This is why I specifically say do not tailor your resume to the job. You tailor it to the job title so that you can mass apply before anybody else. So for this person's resume specifically, they said they've gotten about 10 applications and 0 responses, which is not enough of a sample size, right? You still want a little bit more. But what we need for this specific job posting is a bachelor's degree, Verilog, Systems Verilog, CDC, FPGA, Linux, I2C, SPI, UART, debugging, Vivado, Certus, wireless standards such as Bluetooth, Python, AI-assisted coding, and experience with Git, Paraforce, and TeamCity. So I am going to need to find 75% of that. Let's see if I can. All right, 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Verilog, good. C++, don't really care. Fora, Zinc, don't really care. Okay, collaborative PCB designers. That's not the worst, but that's not really what I'm looking for. Certus, design, UPG, and time. It's too dense. I mean, look, the problem I have with this, and this is according to the job description you sent me. I think we have an older version of FPGA, which, yeah, we have a slightly older version, which I'm looking at right here. So this is, no, this one is the other one. So this is what an FPGA engineer would also want. This is the more generalized one, and I see 1 or 2 of these things here, but I don't really see all of them. Like, again, because do I really care that you have C++? Not really. Do I care that you have zinc? No, that's a hot dog. So there's only one keyword here, right? There's only one keyword here. And remember, you need a minimum of 3 per sentence. And then worked closely with PCB designers, converting project requirements. It's not the worst. It's just, I feel like you overdid this, and this is only 2 keywords. I'd rather you say worked cross-functionally to convert project requirements. Sorry, I'd rather you say worked cross-functionally to ensure a correct interpretation of data. See, that's not even what I'm looking for in the other one, though. That's not explaining complex technical issues to non-technical people. So this isn't even what I'm looking for in either of these. I do want the Certus, though. And then designed a IP stack. Is that in any of these lists? No. Like, the problem I have with this is it's still filled with hot dogs. Because I'm looking for Vivado IP, nothing else. And the only thing I see in 3 bullet points is Verilog, FPGA, and Certus. And you can't have... Yeah, this is actually 1, not 2. You can't have 3 bullet points that only have 3 keywords. You should have 3 keywords in the first bullet point. And then this doesn't matter. It's still way too technical. This doesn't have what I need for any of them. Like, it's filled with hot dogs. Like, I'm not sure what else to tell you. Is that this reeks of a resume that is trying to show me what they've done, but not telling me specifically what they've done. And I don't see it for either of these either. I'm looking for the list you gave me in the previous list. I see about 1 keyword per sentence here. There's 1 here. There's none here. There's none here. There's 1 here. There's none here. So this just does not work. Next resume. This is a resume of an IT support / help desk role. Now, what do we want in IT support / help desk role? It's this stuff. We need Mac OS or Linux. This is very, very big. Hopefully you have both, but like, I'm currently recruiting for one of these roles. It's in a very specific area. And one of the biggest things they want is the operating system that you're working on. So is it Mac OS? Is it Linux? Is it Android? Is it Windows? I don't know, but you better tell me, because that is a critical thing. Then I want to see that you have education, which does not have to be a full degree. It can actually be a high school diploma. Some help desk want high school, some want 4-year college. Customer service and troubleshooting, problem solving is critical. I need to know that. If I cannot see you have troubleshooting, problem solving, and customer service, it's bad. And then I need one of the things from this list. You don't necessarily have to them all. DNS, DHCP, TCP, IP, and VPN. Multitask and meet deadlines. Industry. So again, like, are you doing a SaaS product? Is it a cell phone? Is it Azure? Is it LAN WAN? Is it a CRM system? Is it just generalized tech support? I need to see the industry. Then Jira, Microsoft 365, Active Directory, and a bonus for CompTIA, Microsoft Certified Desktop Support, PowerShell AI. And there are probably 1 or 2 other certs that are beneficial. So this person says they are coming back in after a 5-year break, which is going to be a bit of a problem. If your gap is less than 2 years, it's not a problem. If your gap is over 2 years, it can be a bit of an issue because they're afraid you're going to be rusty. So if you have any other projects, if you have any other volunteer experiences, it would be very, very, very beneficial to put them on. But let's see what we can do with this. So 20 seconds on the clock. And let's go. Okay, good. These are written weird, but they are good. Troubleshot, good. SMB file in Windows environment can access editors, live broadcast teams. That's not terrible. Administrator user computer in Active Directory. Integrate virtual machines into the corporate forest. VMware to power to technical. Monitored routers, servers, and switches. Okay, time. So here's what I would like you to do. First off, this formatting. You better put this formatting. There's a reason it's boring, because I was only able to get down to here. Second off, we actually can easily explain this gap. Like, what makes it not as bad. So what I'd like you to do is fix it to make it look like this, and then right down here, then in the college stuff, we have your degree here, which says status graduated. And then we have this, which is April 2025, which would imply that they may have thought that you like graduated in 2025. But we can also say like went back to school, right? Went back to school to finish up my certificates or degrees, right? And then we just leave these as status graduated, which would then make it look like you just graduated college again, or alternatively, you just got these degrees again, which would explain the gap, because they're like, yeah, that's fine. You went to college, you had some stuff happen, and then you can do it. But then we got to get down into here, and the problem is these are too technical, right? Troubleshot is good, but what's SMB? I don't know what SMB is. You didn't tell me, right? Windows servers is good, but I don't want to see Windows servers. I want to see Windows environments to ensure continuous access to products for assets and editors. And when I want to see troubleshot, I don't want to just see troubleshot. I want to know that like you helped fix these issues, because you didn't actually show that you troubleshot. You just said that you troubleshot. I'd want you to say something like, let me think about this for a hot second. I want you to say something about like troubleshot issues related to Windows while performing customer service on our performing customer. Let me re-rake this. Hold on. Troubleshot Windows servers. Ensured our Windows servers. How would I phrase this? Okay. Troubleshot Windows. Windows issues, networking issues, and something and AWS issues for while maintaining troubleshot those issues to ensure all of our assets were up. I'm trying to think of a good way to say this, because it's phrased in a weird way. Like, that's my big problem with this. This is phrased weirdly. Troubleshot Windows, networking, and cloud issues for troubleshot cloud issue. Cloud issues using Jira, while ensuring our clients were kept engaged with proper customer service to ensure they had their products were working. In fact, that was it. To ensure their production assets were working. So that's how I would prefer you to phrase that, is used troubleshot Windows environments using X and Y to ensure that our customers were engaged by using customer service and our products had no downtime. Right? And that would be what I wanted to see. And then in this one, I like Active Directory, but I need more, right? I don't want to see administrated user and computer onboarding. I want to see met all deadlines while working multiple, issues by ensuring our Office 365 and Active Directory were continuously up to date, right? Like I need more. So the gap is a problem. But beyond just that is these bullet points are kind of mid. And I need you to tell me more of these, because there's just too many hot dogs. So I know that was a bit rambling, but you have the core of an okay one here. And I just want to make sure you stand the best chance you have, because again, a 5-year gap is brutal on the market. And even with this advice, you probably won't get a 1 in 7, but you should hopefully at least get a 1 in 35 to a 1 in 40. Next resume. This is a resume of a back-end Python software engineer. So before I review this one, I actually wanted to before I do the 60 seconds, I wanted to go over a couple of things with this resume because there's a couple of things that I think need to be said. One, this person says, I'm trying to break in as a new grad. I still have a whole year to prepare, but I don't want to waste the last minute. Well, I'll be honest, you're not going to get a job until about 3 months early. I'm not saying these don't exist because some big companies hire this far in advance, but I'm going to say like the vast majority of companies, we're talking like 90% of them will not hire you unless you can start within 3 months. So the fact that you haven't graduated yet for a whole year immediately disqualifies you for a large amount of companies. The second thing is you're applying from a country outside the EU and the US, and you're going to need a visa. Probably not going to happen. You said you have an alumni who got jobs and relocated with the offer. I don't think that's going to happen. That is winning the lottery. Now, for the US at least, I don't know the EU's immigration laws. It may be pretty easy to get into the EU, but for the US, unless you are able to work in the country first, they're not going to get you a visa. And I'd be very interested to know what your friend did, because in almost every case I have ever seen, you are never able to really get a visa until you are already working there. Now, what you could do is work in a like contracting role in that country, and then they can move you to that country, which can happen, but they will work you to the bone. Those contracting firms are brutal, and that's not a guarantee. So that is potentially one way to get in the US. But if you do not have a valid visa, no company is going to move forward with you in the US. So I wanted to tell that stuff before I even went to the rest of this, because I think that was pretty important. So again, it could work for the UK. I don't know UK's immigration laws. So with all that being said, let's review this as if this was a US-based Python developer. So what do we need? Python, SQL, Docker, Cloud, RESTful APIs or REST APIs, Git, CI/CD, and then we want to have either AI, so like ML, Agentic, and its specific tools like LangGraph or Moss, or full stack, which is JavaScript, HTML5, and CSS3, and then a nice to have is Flask and Django. So let's see if we can at least find those, and let's begin. 20 seconds on the clock. And this doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter, because you don't tell me how. Back end, why do I care about this? I don't. And time. Yeah, I would not move forward with this resume. So you need to redo this from scratch. We need to redo all of this from scratch. So what we need you to do is A, use this formatting, okay? B, I need to make sure we have bullet points that actually show what you did, how you did it, the non-technical reasons you did it. And these do not do it, because built the light up solar monitoring backend on a microservices architecture, 19 plus endpoints, trimming typical latency 300 to 200 means nothing. And I'm not saying it's not impressive, but like I would challenge you to find a single job description that says qualifications, built a light up solar monitoring backend on microservice architecture with 19 plus endpoints, trimming typical latency by 300 to 200 milliseconds. And I don't think you're ever going to be able to find it. But these bullet points are terrible. So obviously you're a new grad and there's a lot to go on here. And this is a learning experience, but you need to delete the resume and start again. You need to have bullet points that show actually what I need and how you did it, and the non-technical reasons, because I can't, if I sent this to a hiring manager, they would immediately reject it and question my competency as a recruiter. You absolutely need to make sure we have it built for a non-technical audience, and your education needs to be up top. So I'm going to need you to redo all of this, read the guide I have, and make bullet points that show that, because there's nothing here I could use. So that is it for this video, and I just want to thank everybody for watching. And if you ever need your resume reviewed, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter or right here on YouTube. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for supporting this channel. And if you want to be a member and get access to videos early, you can do so in the link below. But that is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Later.